extra time.
It's the first time that the West Indies have won an away test against a higher ranked opposition, the first test of a series. Essentially, how important was Sunday's victory for you, and how do you guard against complacency for the rest of the series?
I think it was important because of the fact that you don't want to come and have to chase England in England. So the chasing is from their point of view now. You guard against complacency by just trying to do the same things you did before the first test, trying to put all the measures you did before the first test into place, and letting people know that one test match, we won a test match. Right now, that test match is history. We've got to be thinking about Thursday and what we do from Thursday to Sunday.
Firstly, comparing the period before COVID and now, before time, we would have had a significantly shorter stint prior to the test match when traveling to England. And now we've had over a month to prepare in English conditions. Do you see that extended period of preparation in England as being integral to the West Indies performance in the first test?
I think that has been the biggest influence on the performance. I think the fact that we've been here for that period of time, we've had quality bowling in the nets because we've had nearly 11 seamers here. You can't put a price on that. I think that's something that we have to look at, because I remember, I don't like to go back into my days, but we would come to England, we'd play something like 3 or 4 warm-up games, proper warm-up games before even the first test. And then we would also have 3-day games or 4-day games in between test matches. So I think that period of training that we've had here goes a long way to how we performed in that first test.
I just want you to give us, your assessment on the victory in the first test.
When you say assessment, I think it was, for me, it was a great win, because I think that it signified a lot of hard work being done by the players over the last 4 or 5 weeks. But you don't come to England and just win a test match. I think when you look back at the 5 days of the test match, I think it was a top-class test match in all the days. Test match cricket was played in all the days by both teams. And even coming down to the last hour, your bet could have gone either way. So I think it was an excellent test match, and to come out on top has been great for us.
And secondly, setting aside the victory, are there any areas that you would have liked to see improve on in the second and third tests?
Yeah, I think definitely the fact that we had 2 guys getting 60s and a couple other guys getting 40s and not going on to score hundreds. I like to see hundreds in my scorecard at the end of an inning. And I think that is something that we have to improve on, because if one of the guys who had scored 60 went on to score 100, the game might have been easier at the end for us. So we've got to make sure that batsmen score big hundreds and take games away from the opposition.
There was a lot of surprise within England that Stuart Broad didn't play, and that England batted first when they won the toss. And a few observers have suggested that England may have underestimated you again, like they've been guilty of in the recent past. Do you think they took you too lightly?
I don't think so. I don't think England's a professional unit, and I wouldn't expect that from them. I think they thought on the day they needed to bat first. Maybe they looked at how the match would end, the wicket, how dry it was at that time. But there's many factors why they could have batted first. I don't want to speculate, but I don't think they took us for granted.
Were you surprised to see Broad not playing?
A little bit, not much. I think there's a choice between 5 quality bowlers, so one had to sit out. It came to Broad that day, but next match it's 3 back-to-back test match, and England has maybe 5 or 6 test matches. So sometimes you think that's the way we've got to go.
Shai Hope scored 16 and 19 in that match. Mm-hmm. And since January 1, I think 2018, I think he has been averaging around 19 with 2 half centuries in 28 innings. And similarly, Kemar Roach went wicketless in that match. And we know he averages around 22 in the Caribbean, but away he averages almost 40. Do you have any concerns about Hope's form in the last 2 years or Roach's form on away tours? And do you expect them to come good in the 2 matches coming up against England?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is my second test match since I've been back, and I have no worry about the both in form. They've worked hard, they've looked very good in practice and in the training sessions we had, the matches. So I'm not worried about their form. Roachy bowled as good as he could have bowled without taking a wicket, especially on the third evening. I don't think he's bowled better than that without getting a wicket. So I'm not worried about the two players.
Jermaine Blackwood's a reputation, I suppose, as being a very talented stroke maker, but perhaps prone to the occasional rush of blood. Is that something he's had to work hard on to bring more discipline to his batting?
I think he must be commended because he has worked very hard on trying to get that temperament at the right stage for each part of his innings. And as we saw in the first innings, it was still there a little bit, but in the second inning he controlled it a lot better, and that helped him to bring home the game for us.
Just as a follow-up, he's just been telling us that Ben Stokes and one or two of the other England players were sort of chatting to him, trying to sort of goad him into playing a big shot on Sunday. Maybe in the past he might have given into that and tried something rash, but he maintained his discipline well on Sunday.
Well, yeah, if they were doing that, I didn't realize they were doing that, but it's what I would have done too, and try to get him irrational. But I think he held his own. He looked at the situation. He played the situation as well as he could have. So that shows that he is improving. His mindset is improving, and that's all you can ask of players.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.